Hey guys, it's Leo Stargazer. Today is Saturday, August 12th, and I'm here with our daily astrological reading. This week has been a lot about the moon, and today's no exception. The only transits I see is that the moon in Cancer will trine Saturn in Pisces and sextile Jupiter in Taurus. The way I'm seeing these transits, we have the moon in Cancer. Remember yesterday when the moon entered Cancer, we were talking about how nurturing ourselves and what we know about that can help us nurture others. I think today we're thinking about how we can be best protected, best boundaried, but also open and flexible enough to be able to transfer that nurture from ourselves to others. That nurturing element from ourselves to others. How we can lead with that. Or at least how we can set up an intention that involves the idea of self-expression and nurturing ourselves and others in preparation for the new moon in Leo coming up next week. But we're here today, and today the moon will trine Saturn and sextile Jupiter. The way I'm thinking about this too is almost this dichotomy. It's almost this idea that with the moon trining Saturn in Pisces, there's this idea of kind of fluid emotional boundaries. But we can't just guide our lives on fluid emotional boundaries, especially if we're trying to nurture ourselves and others. Oh, and by the way, we're still on this really awesome, fun review process of details that we've been on and will be. That's not totally facetious. But we can't just do all of that. We can't focus on detail if we're thinking about only fluid boundaries. But I think the moon sextiling Jupiter in Taurus is reminding us of expansive but strong foundations, a sense of security, a sense of maybe self-protection because the moon is in Cancer, but also a sense of how our almost expansive sense of self-worth can strengthen our foundation. So like I said, it's this dichotomy of fluid boundaries, but a strong foundation. It's how do we work with that juxtaposition? How do we work in that balance? How do we stay strong on our feet? How do we do that while also being open and flexible enough to change? Or open and flexible enough to what we learn, what we've learned on this journey, what we are going to learn on this journey, what we're learning today, our preparation for the new moon in Leo, and how we want to lead with what we've learned. Today is really about putting those two things up in front of you and trying to analyze the connection. How do I keep my boundaries fluid on a strong foundation? I don't have an answer, because today is about exploring that. We're in a process of review. And I think today wants us to review specifically how flexibility is strength. How strength must be flexible. Those are the key ideas for the day. And I think if we can figure that out, if we can figure out how to have looser, more fluid emotional boundaries, while locking in to a sense of emotional stability and self-protection at the same time, a strong foundation, emotional foundation for us to be on. And I think we've learned a lot about what that means for us through this journey. So lock in on that. I think if we lock in on the foundation first, we can figure out how fluid boundaries maybe can be allowed in. You don't have to allow them in today. You can have strong boundaries today if you feel called to do that. But I think about how you can stand strong, but be flexible. Flexible strength. That's what I'm going to do. Or at least that's what I'm going to try to figure out. I know you can too. I'll see you tomorrow.